Shark Racing circling their next sprint car driver for the 1A. Donny Schatz' team makes more changes in search of speed, and a regional sprint car series makes a strategic move hoping to draw big names. Let's go. It's Wednesday, April 23rd. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Today's daily show is being supported by BAPS Motor Speedway and SprintCarUnlimited.tv. Coming up this Sunday, BAPS will continue their expanded 410 sprint car schedule with round number 3 of their season-long championship. Sunday's program will feature some of the best sprint car teams in central Pennsylvania, joined by 358 modifieds. If you can't get to the track, watch it all live on SprintCarUnlimited.tv. Sprint cars will be on track for hot lap time trials at 5 p.m. The upcoming 410 schedule at BAPS will feature several more 410 shows, including Pennsylvania Speed Week in June and the World of Outlaws in July. All races except the World of Outlaws event will be included in the track championship. And new this year, the BAPS Point Fund has grown to $20,000. Head over to BAPSMotorSpeedway.com to see the full slate of races. And if you want to watch each of the championship races live, including this Sunday, plus the PA Speed Week show, Kevin Gobrecht Classic, and the season finale Sprint Showdown in November, you can do that all season long on SprintCarUnlimited.tv. One of the cars you just might see on Sunday at BAPS is the Shark Racing 1A. The original schedule for that car that came out back in January does have this Central PA weekend on it, and even though that car is officially without a driver at the moment, rumblings are a deal with a new pilot is nearing. Cale Thomas had been named as the replacement for the retiring Jacob Allen a few weeks ago, but after just 3 races, Thomas was dropped after this past weekend. The 1A had a nasty crash on Friday at Williams Grove after catching the water barrels at the backstretch opening, and then another crash late at Lincoln on Saturday night. By Sunday, Thomas was out and another driver search began. We talked previously about Zeb Wise and Tanner Holmes being potential candidates, and I've seen a lot of other names thrown around. It won't be either of those two guys, and Jeremy Elliott reported last night that it's not Dylan Cisney. Word going around this week is that Shark and team owner Bobby Allen were now in search of a driver that can bring some funding to that ride, and if things get worked out in time, the 1A could be on track as soon as this weekend. I've got an email, a Facebook DM, and a Twitter DM from 3 different sources, all pointing towards a young West Coast driver as the next guy. And no, not Tanner Holmes, although this driver is from Oregon, I think. This one is going to feel like it's from out of left field, but keep an eye on Ashton Torgerson as possibly the next driver of the 1A. And as with Cale Thomas, there's a solid chance the team doesn't even announce it. They might just show up at the Grove on Friday, so stay tuned on this one. Going back to this past weekend at Knoxville, we watched Donny Schatz struggle and eventually need a provisional to start the World of Outlaws feature. I said on the Sunday show that it was the first time Schatz had needed to run a non-qualifier race since Knoxville in June of last year. I also said that there were some things to point out about this team. As we've documented, there's a lot of change that's come to the Tony Stewart Racing 15 car in 2025. A new crew chief, a completely different crew, the move away from the Ford engine, and we pointed out back at Dirt Car Nationals the car on Fox shocks. The Fox move was a curious one, as I'm not aware of any other sprint car in the country running Fox shocks. That's something we see much more commonly in dirt late model racing. The swap to a more traditional Chevy-based 410 engine, though, had gone well through the first 3 nights, with Schatz picking up 3 top 10s and his first podium of the season back on the Saturday show at Peevely. I think a lot of folks had Knoxville circled as a track we could see Schatz get a victory, as it's been a stronghold in the past. And that included the odds makers, who had Schatz with a decent chance of winning and a finishing position set at 5.5. The qualifying job certainly didn't help his case to start the night, although cars that went out after him that went faster included Skylar G and Kerry Madsen. PPM and Carson Macedo were just before him in that qualifying order and did find more time. 25th of 32 in his group, and effectively an impossible hole to dig out of the rest of the night. He did manage to recover from a crash in the feature where he was hit hard by PPM and finished 17th after starting 28th. So what did I want to point out about the car? Well, it's those Fox shocks. And I want to point out that it doesn't appear as though they were on the car. The Outlaw Facebook page posted a photo of the 15 in the pit area on Friday afternoon where they are clearly bolted on the car. But later in the day, the shocks that are on the car are bagged, and it seems pretty evident that they are not the dual reservoir Foxes. Some think the car was back on the unmarked factory canes the team had run the past few seasons. And that seems to be confirmed by the footage of the car on Dirt Vision when it hit the work area for a new front end after that crash with PPM. Those bags come off, no dual reservoir Foxes, and instead a single shock with the TSR logo on them. And that matches what the car was on in 2024. And I was curious, looking back through photos the last few weeks, the car was definitely on the Foxes at Lawton. There are photos of it, where you can very clearly see the Fox logos and those dual reservoir shocks. But those bags first appeared at Peevely. Again, the Outlaw Facebook page with a photo of the car on the Foxes, but then later in the night, out come the bags. As they begin to search for a package that works with the new power, I don't think it's super surprising to see them swap back to something they have a bigger notebook with, but there's still work to be done as evidenced by the results from Saturday. It's interesting to point out as well, Schatz not listed on the timing and scoring results on my race pass for the Thursday practice session at Knoxville. Of the Outlaw frontrunners, that wasn't actually completely off the rails, as David Gravel, Carson Macedo, and Sheldon Haudenschild also didn't participate. But of note, if you look at the top 10 finishers from Saturday night, all but Gravel and Austin McCarl made laps on Thursday, and all of the top 5 runners ran Thursday. It does surprise me, especially at Knoxville, to see drivers forego added track time, especially when we know they are searching with their setup. But taking a look at shots in the 15, absolutely fascinating watching the 10-time Outlaw champion try and find his way back to the top. One last topic for today, the POWRi Elite Outlaw 410 series has made a significant change to a race on their schedule in a few weeks. They've now got a 10,000 to win show at Rocket Raceway Park on Friday, May 2nd. That was originally a 4,000 to win race. And this is notable for several reasons. They've got Don Kreitz bringing the 69K to Texas for Christopher Bell to drive, and he's going to do it at this event. And also, this race is between the High Limit shows at the Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track that same week. High Limit is running Thursday and Saturday in conjunction with the NASCAR weekend at Texas. They're not racing Friday so as to not conflict with Friday night's Truck Series race. The Elite Outlaw Series seeing an opportunity here to hopefully draw some names to Rocket with this boosted purse. I think this is going to be an interesting case study for the current state of the sport of sprint car racing. This exact situation is the reason why the World of Outlaws have restrictions on their drivers, and also, as we talked about not long ago, a series like the All-Stars having their restrictions. A race scheduled close by gets this purse boost. They don't have to pay sanction fees to the big series, and they're going to hopefully try and draw some bigger names to the event. I say it will be an interesting case study because while Rocket Raceway Park is in the vicinity, it is still a 2-hour drive from Texas Motor Speedway. So is 10,000 to win and 500 to start enough of an incentive to get any of those high limit guys to make the trip on an off day? It's obviously working for Bell and Kreitz, and that likely wouldn't have been the case previously with the 4,000 to win show. Unlike the All-Stars, who are sort of under the high limit banner, and the Outlaws, the series owned by Brad Sweet, Kyle Larson, Flow Racing, it does not have those same restrictions. That's the Daily Show for today. If you made it this deep into the episode and you are not a subscriber to the show, maybe consider hitting that button on YouTube and the podcast places or following on Facebook. All of those things are free to do. My goal for the year is 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are just across, I think, 42,000 right now. I also am hoping for 50,000 followers on Facebook. We just crossed 35,000 over there. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We will see you right back here tomorrow.